to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast, Brownstone, the light is contagious. But you need go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution, excited. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we want to create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency. And this as a man right now, and things aren't created, but see true.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Tips, Topics to Talk. Welcome to the Brownstone. I'm Paulette, the owner and founder of Brownstone Worldwide. You're in the studios where everything happens. And actually, it's my dining room table. Let's talk about that. But we are brownstoneworldwide.com. It is a slow day for me because I am trying to get used to, let's say this together, trying to get used to researching and capping the news at 4:30 in the morning, and then I just continue to keep going. So I had to do a quick slowdown after this morning's broadcast so that I could get my whole mental life together. But we are back on the game, and I had to actually bring in somebody on the virtual side, and we only call them when we need to kind of help get the database back up and running on brownstoneworldwide.com so we can optimize the site for you all, okay? But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is continue to provide to you news and updates that are important for you, all right? So the first thing that we want to do is let you know where you can find us. You can find us, Brownstone Worldwide, on YouTube. You can find us there. You can find us at brownstoneworldwide.com. Remember, I just said our database kind of yesterday? Okay, so we're still working on that, but you can always head over there now and catch news and information and updates and lifestyle. And you can check out the neighborhood, and you can check out the magazines. Yes, we have a magazine called Brownstone Living Magazine. And we also have Cityscape Radio, which I think we're getting ready to, the app is actually being redone next month, where we're going to be adding video to the app, which I think is pretty cool. So I'm really excited about that. Now, let's get into some of this news and information that's going to blow your mind. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for this? Oh my God, today. Listen, I'm not surprised. I'm not going to say I'm surprised. All right. So let's, we got to give y'all this news first. So 21 civil servants have resigned officially today from working with Elon Musk. Hey, Miriam, come on in this room. Come on in. Yes. So we just got word that 21 civil service servants resign, from data scientists to engineers to the people that are helping to run. Good to see you. Good afternoon. That are helping to run what is happening in with Doge. They have had enough, and this is their stand up and saying, get up, stand up for your rights. So they have decided that they have had enough. All right. And so basically they said, nah, bruh, you're going to have to figure that out on your own. And they've started walking away. And a lot of it just has to do with that, at the end of the day, you know what's right, you know what's wrong, right? And so people are making decisions to say that's enough. Let's ixnay that and start making some making some concessions to say we've had enough. Now, Musk's federal workers' second chance to defend their jobs or get fired. That's another thing that's on our docket here at the Brownstone. Heads are still spinning over the developments of Elon Musk telling his people that telling Americans send us an email or you lose your job, telling us the 5 things. Now, I actually know someone who works in the federal government who said that they were told that they had to do it just as a CYA because they weren't really sure. Some departments were told not to do it. Some were told to. And of course, you know, me and my little defiant self, I said, no, it wouldn't have got done. It's what's a flash goal? So now I got these goals. What is this? 3 gifters send rose to your live in 15 minutes. Achieve this optional goal to win a 24-hour live goal theme. Oh, how cute. Okay, well, I'll do it. And if you send 3 roses, that's great. If you don't, it's cool too, because guess what? I'll play the game. All right, TikTok. Let's talk about that. The head-spinning developments expose new fissures within Trump's administration over Musk's blunt force approach. Even some of the loyalists that follow Donald Trump blindly, such as Kash Patel, the newly installed FBI chief, he told his employees, don't you hold off on responding. Employees at the General Services Administration, which oversees government real estate, were still unsure how to respond. Like, how do you respond to something like that? Right? How? I'm confused. I need answers. What are we doing on today? How do you respond to that? Now, I will tell you that some of you all who are on Facebook actually sent the letters under the response that I posted in regards to this, because I actually shared a portion of the email that was sent out that was leaked. And on Monday morning, Stephen Iekian, I hope I said that right, GCA's acting administrator, he actually told employees to comply. Hours later, some workers received a message saying OPM's request was voluntary, but that GSA leadership was still encouraging workers to respond. So he's kind of doubling down now. He's like, no, we're going to give you a second chance to go ahead and do it. And his downsizing initiative is executed by a so-called Department of Government Efficiency. So let's talk about this real quick, because I'm hearing a lot of this. They're saying, oh, this is an initiative that was started by Barack Obama. Yes, it was. However, it was not started to be run like this. It was supposed to be run with people at the helm who were going to do the necessary research and really dig deep. We're not talking about you going to an agency and it takes you 24 hours to literally say, and in error, to literally say, let's put them out, let's put them out, let's put them out, let's put them out. And it was not supposed to be run by babies. That was absolutely the hell not. It was not supposed to be run by people whose frontal lobes are not in the brain, are not fully developed. So they're making decisions based upon how they're feeling in the moment, and it's impacting people's entire lives. And that's irresponsible on any perspective. I don't care how you cut that cake, it's irresponsible. And there are those people, we talked about this morning on the day shift. There are those people who literally get a kick out of causing people do harm. Period. And I think it's unfortunate and downright mean, right? So like, you must have been bullied when you were in school, because this is what happens. You know, you end up with a ton of cash, and then you start treating people poorly. Like, I don't understand. All right, so we talked about that. So let's also talk about what's happening in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So a group of kids got together, children, and probably some adults, not sure what made them do it, but they ate the carcass of a bat. That's according to what the reports are saying. And this has caused people to lose their lives. So they're saying that 219 people were impacted. 53 have passed away, many of them children. The signs and symptoms are very COVID-like, according to the reports. And they've shut down the area and are starting to clean it out. And people are wearing entire hazmat suits to remove the bodies and to dispose of them properly. So there's another. So welcome to Tips, Topics, and Talk. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you are on Facebook, if you are on YouTube, just know that you can comment and do all the things. And there are some areas where I can't pick it up specifically, but you can still share your comments, share your thoughts, and I will go back through and I will look at them later if that's what you want to do. Okay. All right. Real interesting. This is really interesting conversation today. So again, if you are just now joining us, here's what you need to know. Hey, Emily, 21 civil service servants have resigned from the administration today that are working or have been working with Doge. They have had enough and they are standing in solidarity. Some of them are include data scientists as well as engineers. All right. Mystery disease has killed 50 people after an alleged group of folks decided to eat the carcass of a bat. I don't know if they were supposed to clean it real good or if it's something that's a part of their regular diet. Not sure. However, it was done. And we have 53 children, 53 people, most of which are children that have lost their lives. All right. We also have some other news and information that I want to go back down. So big shout out to a gentleman by the name of, I think his name is Keith Boykin. Keith Boykin did a piece today on Joy Reid from MSNBC. And it was a very good, it was a really nice piece on the contribution to news and information, commentary, and journalism that Joy Reid brought to MSNBC. But it also went down the rabbit hole of how MSNBC over the years has repeatedly released Black journalists and commentators from their roster. And here's what they're doing. They're replacing her show with a show that is going to include a group of folks, two of which I believe are African-American, one that is Latino, for a more podcast-like feel or vibe, I believe. And a couple of them have already been a part of MSNBC in one regard or another. But it seems to me, just from some of the watching that I've been doing and reading, that the release of Joy Reid from MSNBC was very intentional. And it was because of some comments or some questions that she may have had in regards to what is happening between Israel and Gaza. So we are, of course, positive and resilient people. And I know that this is not a setback by any means. The news world, the news media is changing, and we're absolutely seeing that, right? So I'm from radio. I'm from radio news, and a lot of what we do is very, very similar to TV news, except you don't see our face. You don't hear us. You hear us, but you don't see our face. So we have to put on, we have to act with our voice and inflections and so forth, and all the things, and the phones would light up and we would hold conversation with people. This was before, podcasting became a name. It was a thing. I still call it what it is. It's talk radio. They just gave it a different name. But one of the things that we do in this space is we provide a place for your voice to be heard and a place for you to hear our thoughts, all the things that we do. And Joy Reid was one of those people who literally did that. She was able to give you exactly what you were looking for in terms of what you needed to hear. And then you could make your own decisions. Of course, sometimes she would do like I do, and she would provide you with impact, insight, emotion. She could, the power of the voice and suggestion is very, very powerful. And we know that, especially in this industry. And we try to use that for good to help you to think. And so there were several people like Megan Kelly and others who said very nasty things to her on social media. And let me tell you something that I have learned over the years, and this is just from a personal perspective. When you start doing stuff like that and being nasty to other people, trust and believe it always does come back to you. So you definitely have to be careful with how you treat others and how you make a decision to do things on a personal level and a professional level. So let's get into some more news and information that you can use. We do understand that a meeting was held today, and this is from inside sources, for real, that Starbucks is starting to release some of their corporate professionals who are in-house, who make decisions on all levels, and that started today. And like I said, I at one point was trying my best to get on trying to get hired on with Starbucks, and did not succeed after about 25 different applications. This is a true story. But sometimes things are not meant for you, right? So they're continuing to lay off, and I understand that it will be a couple thousand before it's all said and done. All right. Let's talk about a couple of things that are happening in the medical world, and it's with Lilly that is going to be offering a cheaper Zepbound. How many of you all are like, I'm not paying $130 a month or $270 a month for a weight loss drug? How many of you all have said, I'm not doing that? Well, Eli Lilly is expanding its direct-to-consumer offerings of a popular weight loss drug. The maker of Zepbound is making a 7.5 milligram and a 10 milligram vial of the medication available on its patient website for $4.99 a month, or half its monthly price. The move aims to reach people whose insurance will not cover the treatment, and comes as a compounding site are stopping sales of the weight loss drug or copycat medications now that GLP-1 drugs are no longer in shortage. And we got to remember that now that it's no longer in shortage, guess what's going to happen? You're definitely going to see the price drop. You're absolutely going to see the price drop. And it's just going to be like, well, wait a minute. How much is it now? I'll wait. I've been big this long. I'm going to wait a little while longer, because that's exactly what's going to happen. I know I've been waiting. Listen, I have been waiting. Let the price go down a little bit more. Okay? Some people say, oh, you're not a big girl. You just a little busty. Little is not the word. Okay? Okay. Clothes fall off you except right here. All right. Let's see. One of the other things that we're talking about is how companies are planning on spending U.S. job plans. Why is this important? American companies are rushing to unveil ambitious hiring and U.S. manufacturing plans in a bid to curry favor with President Trump. That don't fit well with my spirit to say that like that. There's a young man on TikTok that calls him wig, and I just lay down every time he says it, because it's very befitting. Much of this investment, however, is likely just a shiny repackaging of existing plans, according to the Wall Street Journal. What's more, companies are literally announcing the creation of new jobs. Apple, for instance, they're talking about hiring 20,000 people. U.S. research and development workers, actually, and not just people that work with their hands, but people that are going to be in the R&D field, before quietly eliminating positions as demand and strategy shift. Let me tell you what's going to happen, because I've seen this happen before working in corporate. You say what you're going to do, and then a bevy of people begin to apply for positions that actually do not exist. It's to keep people busy. It's to keep your recruiters busy and doing the busy work. And here's the truth. Most recruiters aren't really, I know of maybe 5 or 6 personal friends of mine who are in HR, who literally would not allow AI to comb through and do the work for them, right? Because it's keywords, and then it'll they would literally pull it and read it themselves to make the decision on whether or not they would call people. And a lot of people don't do that. They actually allow the system to do it while they go and have lunch and be gone for 2-3 hours or all day long. And the reality is a lot of these companies literally know that they don't have any job openings. but they continue to have those jobs spin through. And I'm going to put my business out there. So it's officially going to be 3 years since I left corporate against anything that I chose to do. And in that time, I continue, hey, Cutter. And in that time, I continue to put my resume out there. I do. I continue to put my resume out there. I continue to, dust it off and add new skills and things of that nature to it. And in that time, I may have had 2 interviews. One was virtual and I didn't make it to the second round. And then the other one was in person. I made it to the second round and they already knew who they were going to hire because it was somebody that was already in-house. So a lot of times by law, well, there is no a lot of times. By law, a company, when they are hiring, has to publicly post the job, offering it to everybody, whether you work for the company or not. And so what happened in this situation was they already knew the person that they wanted. They were just following the proper protocol, and I was impacted by it. A lot of referrals were happening at the time and stuff like that. And it was, oh, you need to go with this agency or that agency. And so I've done that as well. But a lot of this, and I'm going to put this out here as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, Cutter. One of the things that, let's put this on the table, because Tips, Topics, and Talk is more about the conversation, right? So one of the things that I've learned is that being older absolutely does not help your case in finding reputable work. Wasted people's time. Girl, you better say it. Wasted folks' time. And I was angry and I was livid because you got me driving all the way up here and you already knew that you weren't going to hire me. This was a game to you. Y'all had 3-4 people at the table, XYZ, y'all interviewing me, blah, blah, blah. And so what ends up happening is people like myself and others who are very well qualified end up having to find other means to generate revenue, because America has decided that women in my age group don't deserve to keep jobs, don't deserve to keep working. They don't, right? Well, we don't deserve to keep working. We don't deserve no job. We don't deserve none of that. We just, oh, girl, it was a panel interview for real. Yeah. Yeah, I walked in, honey. I have suits galore, all of that. I was dressed to the nines, know exactly how to look corporate, speak the corporate language, all of that. Yeah. You know how we do when we get in there. We're bilingual. Black folks are trilingual sometimes, right? Because we know what level of English, the King's English, we're supposed to speak. So you get in there and you're speaking and doing the things and doing literally almost tap dancing. And then you find that it was all for naught. And it's disgusting. But again, at this age, at 50 plus, I have learned, you can say, well, that can't really be so. Like I said, that's why I keep my head covered a lot, because I'm very gray. It's ridiculous how gray I am. But yeah, so I'm gray, and it adds to how aged I can look when I wear my natural hair. And so I've learned that these companies don't want anybody of, first of all, my age and my experience, because they don't know where to put me. Like, this old lady, she coming in here, she got experience, but at the same time, she an old lady. So we don't know how to treat her. We don't know how do we handle somebody like her? Well, we just won't. Because they think that I don't understand today's culture when we were the ones that created it. So I have found myself without being in corporate for the past 3 years, which has helped me to really focus on building the brownstone, which has helped me to build an audience and to continue to grow that. So here we are. But I say all of that because they run in game right now. There is no U.S. job plan in terms of companies that are going to be spinning this so they can stay on the good graces of this current administration. It's all a front. It's all a game. And it is absolutely disgusting. And I'm truly over it. I really, really am. It is exhausting to watch how people are tap dancing. You need some help too? It is exhausting. So I said, you know what? I'm not, here's what I'm not going to do. And here's the truth at Tips, Topics, and Talk. I'm not going to beg you. I'm not going to beg. We will continue to keep moving like I'm moving. We will continue to keep doing the things that I'm doing. Because I'm not. And I know many of you all who are watching this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not getting ready to be in your face. Please, I need a job. No, I'm gonna go back to the house. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go somewhere, I'm gonna sit down, and I'm gonna figure out another way. Because let me explain something to you. Now, here comes the talk part. Y'all think I always had a college education? So what do we do in situations like this? We'll resort back to what we know how to do, right? And I've done a myriad of different things to keep the bills paid, to keep the lights on, to make sure my children have food, all of the things. So I've been braiding hair since I was 16. And I've braided under some of the best braiders in the world. If anybody has ever used a product by Talia Wajid, I worked under Talia Wajid. It's braids, weaves, and things. You'll see her products in Walmart. You'll see her products in beauty supply stores, her braid cream and hair milk and all the things. I used to work for her. And it was amazing because I learned, and when I say work for her, I had a chair and I worked under her. And I was one of the only American girls. She only hired African women. And I remember there was a young lady there. Her name was Mumfale. Mumfale taught me techniques to be faster. She taught me parting techniques. She taught me Senegalese twist. She taught me, before it was over, I learned 17 different techniques, braiding techniques, from hair weaving to interlocking. And we ain't talking about with the latch hook. See, there's a difference. There's a different braid technique for that. And I became a master braider. What does a master braider mean? Master braider means I can teach you how to do it. And so I taught my other siblings, I taught my children how to do it. Hey, Brandon, how are you? Come on in here. Come on in. So I taught my children how to do it. And that's how we're able to eat. Not only that, but what else do you know how to do? You know how to make a plate, don't you? We know how to do, we know how to survive. We handle our business. If I have to DoorDash, if I have to, download a couple of apps, if I have to do cash kick, survey, whatever I had to do, but we're not going hungry. That's not happening. That's not happening. And it's unfortunate that professional women like ourselves, Kutta, and others that we know who are in this age group, now we officially have 3 things that are standing. It's age. Ageism is a thing, sexism and racism. Okay. Those are the 3 things that a lot of us are still dealing with. And we don't want to talk about it, but I know that that's got a lot to do with it. Are you qualified? So when I hear people talk about DEI and saying that it's not, we don't need it, XYZ, that was the reason why it was put in place from the beginning, was because people literally needed to have a way to get in the door, because otherwise, no matter how much education, qualifications, certifications that you had, experience, it still didn't matter, because you were still being overlooked because your skin is brown or red or yellow or black. That's why that was put in place. It didn't matter if you had skill set. Period. Nobody is asking for a handout. People are asking for an opportunity. But in this administration, we are noticing that those opportunities are literally being ripped away from qualified individuals. We saw that with the replacement of the current general. We saw that. The person that they replaced him with doesn't even have this much experience, next to the guy that they let go. I can't think of his name right now. Right? So I'm sitting here and I'm saying, how do you win? You build your own table. Not only do you build the table, you don't build your table without a structure and a foundation in place. Right? So that's where Brownstone Worldwide comes in. It is a media company. And that's why I brought up Keith Boykin earlier today during this conversation, because he talked about Black media. He talked about the Black voices that are being silenced during this time, and how our voices need to be heard. And it's important for us to be heard during these times, because we're coming from a perspective that you don't hear a lot about, and it's important. And so voices like mine, voices like, and even, those others, and not just Black folks, but we're talking about voices like his, voices like mine. There's an audience for each one of us, right? And some of us came from radio, some of us came from television, some of us came from this or that or whatever. And there is a collective group of us that are out here providing information and news and commentary so that we can become the think tanks and help you all to make better decisions. Something that I talked about earlier today during my morning live was how we can, as a people, empower ourselves with our dollars. I'm going to bring this up because I think it's important at this point. We know this blackout is coming up, right? We're talking about this blackout. We're talking about all of the ways that we can support what's happening out there and really let our voices be heard. So one of the things that, Black media is talking about is nationwide protests. But it's not just Black media. It's all media is talking about it. And we're talking about online media. Let's talk about this change that is happening. With everything that's happening at MSNBC, we are officially aware that a lot of what you are seeing is not straightforward. Let's put it that way, right? So some is gonna lean more to the left, some is gonna lean more to the right. And you're going to have those people who are just going to try to give you as much information as they can and then provide their own commentary, which is what I try to do, right? I have my own thoughts and ideas on how I think things should go in the perfect world in my head. But I just want to give you the facts, and then you do with it what you want. And I'm going to always tell you what I think. And if we happen to agree somewhere in between, then we come in and we talk to one another. And I think that that's a good way for a lot of us to learn. So when I come on here, when others like Keith and other people like Don Lemon, he's got his group of folks that are following him and getting all the news. He's another one. He's just giving you information and making you think for yourself. He's more free now than he ever was doing regular television, because he doesn't have anybody that's telling him how or what he should say to save, the image of the network. Now he's his own, and he's rocking it out. He's doing his thing. Not only him, but you have others who may not have as large of an audience. I would be one of them. But then you have Brownstone Worldwide. You have others. He talked about Black media today, and I really had to give him a thumbs up on that and say thank you for this, because we are necessary and we are needed. We are absolutely necessary, because we're talking about the issues that are mattering to us in our local communities. And it is so vital and so important, because sometimes things go over our heads. Sometimes, here's something else. Some of y'all, you're not paying attention to the news unless, of course, somebody like me is talking about it. You're not watching it because it stresses you out. You're not sharing the information or getting involved unless somebody like me or someone else is talking about it in a way that is clear to you, so that it doesn't upset you, so that it doesn't stress you out. I had a friend yesterday tell me that she is not paying attention to the news. She doesn't know what is going on. A sister now, she doesn't know what's going on, and she doesn't want to know. And I thought, but me and you sit here and she said, but yes, you. Okay. And that was enough fuel for me to say, I have to continue doing what I'm doing. So there is a drive that gets me up at 4:30 in the morning, true story, to provide the news, to give the information, because there are people like her that don't have the nerve for it. But you need to know. Do not bury your head in the sand at a time like this, because you cannot afford not to know. You cannot afford not to know about the scheduled protests. You cannot afford not to know that there's a boycott that's happening with Nestle March 21st through the 28th. You cannot not know that these companies are lying to you when they're saying that they're hiring and they're not. You cannot not know when companies like Aldi and Target and Walmart are lying to you in your face. And then you cannot not know that your decision to be a part of the economic divide that you are creating by saying, I'm not going because you're not serving me or my people the way that we deserve to be served, and we've given you our money year after year after year, you gotta know that it's literally dropping their stock price. I have not seen Walmart stock price under $100. I know in about 5 years. I know it's always been over 100. You know how I know? Because I still get a statement. Yep, I own some of it, and I got a statement the other week. I used to work for Walmart. That's how I still have it, and I just leave it alone and let it go. When I tell you, I looked at it and I was like, oh, and just I put it to the side. I was like, oh, okay. Here's why, and it's not a lot. It's just some shares, you know. And I looked at it and I thought I ought to just go on ahead and just sell it. There's my truth. It's not even worth it for me to hold on to it. But I absolutely saw it, and then I saw it was under $95 a share 2 days ago. Same thing with Target. Target has lost $15 billion since this started. Don't ever think that learning and connecting and sharing information with others is not impactful, because it is. Because like I said, there are some people that are never going to listen to the news unless it's coming from somebody like me, who is telling you to get your coffee, get your water, get your notepad, what you're doing, XYZ, right? There are some people that are never. When I heard her say it, I couldn't believe it. She was like, I'm just going to let God handle it. Baby, listen, keep believing that if you want to. You're going to wake up and you're going to be like, what happened? Because he gave you the tools that are necessary. It even says so. When you really want to get deep and spiritual, it says he's giving you the power to get well. Well, he ain't just talking about he's just going to lay down and just give you the power. The power is in these hands. The power is in your mouth. The power is in your tongue. The power is in the walk that you walk in, and the energy that you are giving other people by empowering entire communities to make better decisions about what happens with where they are living. That's where the power comes in at. But you won't know if you're keeping your head in the sand. And then this whole 92%. I understand. I get it. I don't agree with it. I understand. Sit down. We don't know how to sit down. 92%. We don't know how to sit down. We're too fired up. We sit here, we're like, wait a minute, what just happened? What? We get ready to fight. How we fighting? Pastor Paula? Girl, I'm just saying, if I'm wrong at any time, stop me. But I try to look at it from both sides. I understand you just don't have it. We're going to just keep our eyes closed. That's like that's like getting at the top of a very steep hill in a car and not even putting your foot on the gas, but putting the car in neutral. And you're at the top of this daggone hill and you go like this. And somebody pushes you off the freaking cliff. You have you so scared, you like this. You're not paying attention to the fact that the car is veering off to the left and there's a guardrail that you're getting ready to flip over because you're not paying attention. You see what I'm saying? Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you do that to the people in your community and your family? So did you hear about the new budget? You ain't hear about the new budget? Oh, Lord have mercy. Let me go ahead and play this for y'all. They are playing in our faces. And because, listen, because we are not paying attention, because we just want God to take the wheel, we're going to end up over the guardrail. And you know what they're doing? They driving just fine. Right in your face. And along the way, not only are they driving fancy cars, they are driving tractor trailers, and they are driving push mowers, and they are driving and pushing you right over and rebuilding and creating the America that they want to see. And it does not include some of us. Unless, of course, you decide to be the spook who sat at the door. How about that? Okay. I just had to say that. I just felt like putting that out there into the atmosphere because why? Because I can. Because I can. And it needs to be said. Stop letting these people bulldoze us. So we have I'm gonna see if I can play this. Come on, load for me, because you got to hear this guy, representative from Maine. I forgot his last name, but I was able to catch it. Take a listen. He's talking about the Rules Committee hearing on the federal budget. Have y'all heard about this? Are you paying attention? Are you ready? Let me see if y'all can hear this. You may not be able to hear this, especially if you are on hang on, pause that. If you are on YouTube or TikTok, I'm going to share the video. I've already shared it on not TikTok. I've already shared it on all Facebook platforms that we're currently on Meta. But I needed you all to hear just a snippet of this. Basically, Representative from Maine is saying, y'all done lost y'all rabbit mind if you think that we're going to approve this budget. This is not for the American people. You need to hear this. And if you can't hear it, and I'm hoping that you can, I need you all to understand that he is not playing any games. He called them out. He was very serious. He said, no, this is not what we're going to do. Here's where we need to be in regards to what's happening. Hey, Deals with Nia, how are you? Welcome. Yeah. All right, so let me see. If you can't hear it, let me know. I'm going to try to turn it up as loud as I can so y'all can hear it.
That's the Republican budget. A budget, in my opinion, that is a betrayal of the middle class. There is nothing America first about this budget. This is about gutting programs that help everyday people so that Republicans can give more handouts to billionaires and special interests. I mean, I keep hearing Republicans run these ads about how their budget is going to put money in regular people's pockets. Talk about misleading. You conveniently forgot to mention that billions and billions this budget gives away to the ultra-rich. And you forgot to mention that you're stealing from regular people to do it. People will see their costs go up. In other words, everyday people, teachers, nurses, firefighters, police officers, farmers, plumbers, laborers are going to get screwed. And I've seen this before. I saw it in 2017, the last time Trump was in the White House. Republicans love rigging the economy for the ultra-wealthy. And today, here they are, keeping the gravy train rolling for billionaires, making it possible for them to pay a lower effective tax rate than the working people of this country. And by the way, you know who else loves this budget? The price gouging corporations that have been squeezing families at the grocery store, at the gas pump, and on their rent checks. A lot of them pay nothing in taxes. They pay nothing. In fact, nearly 50 companies in the S&P 500 reported paying no income tax expenses in 2023. And you wouldn't dare do anything about that. And then Republicans have the nerve to lecture us about fiscal responsibility. They claim they care about the deficit, but they can't help themselves because this budget blows a massive hole in the deficit. You have $2.7 trillion, that's trillion with a T, in tax giveaways for the ultra-rich contained in this budget. And in the same breath, they're slashing programs that help everyday people. Oh, they're coming after Medicaid, and they're coming after Social Security, and they're coming after Medicare, and they're coming after SNAP, a program that ensures that kids and seniors do not go hungry. I mean, how cruel is that to take away food from hungry people? And they don't care. They're coming after every single thing that matters to people who work hard and keep this country going. In short, this bill is not about helping regular people. It's about helping the billionaires and price gougers who funded Republican campaigns. Wages for working people have been stagnant for decades. Everything from gas to groceries keeps getting more expensive. Mm-hmm. Eggs are like $10 a dozen in some places. And we haven't seen a damn thing to bring down costs. It's all handouts to their donors while everyday people fight to just stay above water. This budget does not invest in working families. It robs them. It doesn't strengthen our economy, it weakens it by making it harder for regular people to get ahead. Plain and simple, Republicans are betraying the middle class. Democrats, different vision. One that puts regular people in front of billionaires. We care about working people who can't afford rent. We care about the people who get their hands dirty on the job and are pissed off that billionaires are able to pay lower effective taxes than they do. And we care about the nurses and the teachers and the police officers and the firefighters and the waiters and waitresses and cashiers who deserve better than this Republican budget that screws them over. It is insulting. It is insulting. Democrats want tax relief for workers, not the ultra-rich. Democrats believe in protecting Social Security and Medicare, not gutting them to pay for corporate tax handouts. And Democrats support Medicaid and SNAP because we know these programs are essential for keeping millions of Americans who live on the brink from falling off the cliff. And we all know trickle-down economics doesn't work. After the last round of Trump tax cuts that gave companies billions in tax breaks, those companies didn't spend that money on their workers or building new infrastructure. They spent it on stock buybacks to enrich their wealthy shareholders. For example, T-Mobile almost paid nothing in federal income taxes in 2023, but spent $13 billion on stock buybacks, which is why we should grow our economy from the bottom up and not the top down. This Republican budget is about choices, and they're choosing billionaires over teachers and nurses, for God's sakes. They're choosing corporate greed over struggling families. They're choosing to make life harder for the people who do the real hard work in this country. And they're blowing up the national debt while they're at it. Only these guys, Trump and Elon and the MAGA clown show in Congress, could find a way to cut hundreds of billions of dollars in spending on critical and essential programs that help people and yet still blow up the national debt. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. The American people deserve better. They deserve a government that works for them and not just the wealthiest elite and those at the top. Now, I ask my colleagues, have any of you been in your districts lately? Have you talked to people? I mean, real people as opposed to just political donors? This is not what people want. I promise you, this is not what people want. And Democrats are going to expose this corruption and grift, and we're going to fight like hell to stop it.
Boom. There you go. So you heard it first. And so he has been relentless, and I am proud of him for speaking out. But he talked about another thing. Have they been in their districts? Yes, they have, as a matter of fact. Y'all want to hear some of it? Here we go.
I'm a 20-year veteran teacher. As I said, I've been behind you in local stores. You came to the 100th anniversary of the Albany Library branch celebration, where my band played inside. Okay? I saw you on TV at NOAA. I saw you on TV at the Department of Education. What I'm saying is this. Somebody asked you what your red line was, and you said that the time is always right to go. Does that mean the red line has already been crossed? Because I think it has. If you ask us to show up, Congressman Tonko, we will show up. In D.C. But it cannot be. We have to take the gloves off. We can't live for protocol. They're not playing by the rules. We have to take it to them. When I saw you at those...
He said that they are not playing by the rules. We have to take the gloves off because the red line has been crossed. Take a listen.
I didn't think I saw it. What do you think?
I don't think I have it loaded, y'all. Hang on.
President Trump's
If
sweeping
not,
job cuts now target the IRS next, and thousands of government workers already in several agencies across the country. Elon Musk late today, center stage, wielding a chainsaw, boasting about slashing the federal bureaucracy. The president's team today defending his first 30 days in office. And tonight here, the new poll, what Americans think of this first 30 days. Here's Mary Bruce tonight.
Tonight before
Here's what you need to know. The polls say consumer confidence, because of that right there, and this first 30 days, consumer confidence is actually diving, reversing the optimism from Trump's election. So now people are starting to lose their taste for what is currently happening. You know why? Can we sing it together in Francesca's voice? We ready? Francesca Ramsey says it like this. I never thought the leopards would eat my face. Oh, I never thought the leopards would eat my face. She said it, not me. Economic jitters are showing up across various sentiment surveys as the Trump administration aims to reconfigure America's trade relationship with the world, and inflation shows signs of getting stuck. Yes. Y'all, I went to go buy a carton of eggs yesterday because I said I just want to make sure that I'm going to keep a carton of eggs in the house and try to keep them for about 2 weeks or so, right? You know, I don't even know why I did that. They were $11. You see how I'm rocking back and forth like I'm from the color purple. Listen, I literally could not. I said a dozen of eggs are $11. And those were the ones that I found on sale. Not only that, but the eggs, I don't even know if they came from this country. You hear me? Our eggs are coming from Turkey because we're not producing enough eggs. Did y'all know that? Your eggs are bleached and cleaned and shipped over here to support the fact that we do not have enough eggs. So now let's look at that. We got tariffs, right? So the tariffs are in position. He's standing on that. He's standing on business. 25%. Seagull. Somebody could have said those some seagull eagles. Girl, listen, I don't know where they're coming from, but listen, they're coming. From what the research says, they are coming from Turkey. We usually produce 300 million eggs in this country. We have not been able to do it because of the bird flu. So then the question comes in, how we get rid of the bird flu and how come nobody else in the world has bird flu but us? What's happening? And now they're saying that they're actually finding some beef that or cows now are able to have contracted the bird flu. What's happening? What's going on? Can we do some deep dive? Let's do some deep diving. Okay, because we need to know what's going on. I don't know about anybody else, but we definitely want to find out what's happening, because I'm confused on so many different levels. I really am. But yeah, National Park Service is grappling with massive layoffs. Here's what you should know. Then we want to dig a little bit deeper into some other things that you should know. The National Park Service's mission is to preserve unimpaired the natural and cultural resources and values of the national park system for the enjoyment, education, and inspiration of this and future generations. Can't do that if you don't have no staff to take care of it and to protect it. However, there are fewer people to do so after recent layoffs directed by the Trump administration. From Gettysburg to Yosemite, parks of all sizes have been impacted by the sudden loss of staff ahead of their busy season. Because remember, here comes spring, here comes summer. People are going to be doing vacations. They're going to be driving across the country, XYZ, right? This is a lot of times when families are out in full force having events in public parks and things of that nature. But when we're talking about those government parks and areas that are supposed to be protected and cleaned and keeping people from doing unlawful things on these federal grounds, if those people aren't in place, it's not going to get done. Who are these people that make sure that you pick up your trash once you're done with whatever you're doing? Where are those people going to be to keep the restrooms and stuff that are on site clean? Where are those people going to be? They just let them go. What's going to happen? If something were to occur, if there's an outbreak of, wild animals in an area, who's going to be the one to report on that? Who is trained to do that? Anybody? So here's why they were laid off. The layoffs are part of this current administration's larger efforts to shrink the size of the federal government. A White House fact sheet fact sheet on the executive order calling for reducing the workforce said the government wastes billions of dollars each year on duplicative programs or duplicative programs and frivolous expenditures that fail to align with American values or address the needs of the American people. However, the National Park Service topped the list of government agencies seen favorably by U.S. adults, according to a Pew Research study last July. And national parks are widely considered to be among America's greatest treasures. So what's happening right now is a National Park Service spokesperson told USA Today, according to USA Today, the National Park Service is working closely with the office. Yes, shaking my head, honey, and I'm going to put a D in there for you. Okay, shaking my head. Okay, working closely with the Office of Personnel Management, or OPM, to ensure we are prioritizing fiscal responsibility for the American people. And as always, National Park Service will continue to provide critical services and deliver excellent customer service. However, park education, like the advocates, like the Independent National Parks Conservation Association and Coalition to Protect National Parks, warns the level of service and ability to protect and share park resources will diminish with fewer staff, just like I just said. Fewer people in position, what you think gonna happen? Nothing. That's exactly what's gonna happen. So when you go to your parks this summer, how many employees were there? 20,000. Thank you for asking that question. Permanent, temporary, and seasonal employees within the Park Service, according to its actual website. Seasonal employees. Now, mind you, these people don't work all year long. It's just seasonal employees, especially during the spring and summer. Most of these are people that make up, like, kids, college kids, and so forth, right? They welcome people, they educate visitors, conduct research, protect the resources, like I was saying. Keep the parks looking beautiful. This is going to be a hot mess. What your parks going to look like? And we're not talking about your local parks. We're talking about federal parks, parks. Perfect example is going to be a portion of what is known as Hot Springs, Arkansas, which a part of that is handled by the National Park Service. Were they impacted? That place is absolutely gorgeous, even though it is a city. It's still a city and people live there in this beautiful place. A portion of it is run by the National Park Service. What other areas are run by the National Park Service? Some of them are historical buildings that are now protected. You know what? You want to know of one? The MLK home. There's usually park rangers that actually walk you through the tour of this area, this neighborhood, where his house is, where he was born. You can walk through and see all the things. Were they impacted? And when you talk about history, now, mind you, when I first moved to Atlanta, I used to live down the street from there. So to see this entire area become a part of the National Park Registry, and to get those services and have actual physical park rangers walking the street, giving tours, was amazing. Absolutely amazing. It was amazing. Yeah. So there's that. So much to cover and so little time, because guess what? It's 1:30, y'all. I didn't even realize that the time had gotten about above me. So a couple of things we want to cover before we get up out of here and I go back to providing news and information. Number one, the March issue of Brownstone Living magazine will drop March 5th. It is called the Women's History issue, but not only is it Women's History, we're also covering, listen closely, your marching orders. Let that sink in. It's something that I do every year, but we're really going in this year because your marching orders are bigger than you think that they are. And it's important for you to pay attention and to take heed of your marching orders, whether they come from here or outside. So I'm gonna leave with this, and I'll let that be like our spiritual vitamin for today, what those marching orders are for me. But what I want to share with you are the scheduled protests. You can or cannot. I'll be sharing these on social media if I have not already. I have a lot going on today. I don't recall. Friday, we know, is supposed to be hit them in their pockets. This is when we are doing a economic blackout, no spending for 24 hours, buy your gas, etc. the day before, but shut it down. Unless, of course, you have things that are automated and so forth, go ahead and shut it down. This is not a march. It is an economic blackout protest. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. We ain't asking nobody to march. We're not doing any of that. And so it's from 12 midnight until 11:59 p.m. Okay, your local time. March 7th through the 14th, U.S. and world oligarch #1 protest, Amazon. No buying from Amazon for 1 full week. It is not a march. It is an economic blackout. Friday, March 14th, national strike, no work for 24 hours. All workers, all businesses, and all higher education organizations are supposed to call in 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. There are some people we know are essential, and you might want to rethink that, but choose the ones that work for you, right? Where you can support. There are going to be those times where you may feel like you don't want to do that, or you cannot do that. But what you cannot do, y'all, is sit still. You can't sit at the top of the hill with your car in neutral and your eyes being covered with your hands and just let the steering wheel do what it's going to do, because, baby, you're going to end up on the guardrail. Okay? Several more blackouts are coming. March 21st through the 28th is the Nestle boycott. April 7th, yes, Nia. April 7th through the 14th, the Walmart boycott. April 18th is the economic blackout again. And then April 21st through the 28th is the General Mills blackout. All right, now here's we're going to dig into this, because I think it's important for you also to know who is under General Mills, who is under Unilever. Ben & Jerry's, we know, is under Unilever. We know, especially if you're on TikTok, you already know Ben & Jerry's been cutting up, letting it be known how they feel about specific things. And Unilever, the mother company that bought them, is like, y'all need to slow that down. And when they figured out that they couldn't control them, the leadership, this is my thought. I don't know if this is the case or not. The CEO quit today or yesterday morning of Unilever. Unilever literally owns just about everything that's on your kitchen counter. Yeah. Same with General Mills. So who are the companies that are up under these? Who are the branches that are up under these big dogs that own everything? Do you know? Did you know that there's like 1 or 2 literal American beers left? Everything else is owned by Anheuser-Busch. One of those is Miller. And Miller is in my hometown, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Everything else is owned by Anheuser-Busch. That should scare you. How these multi-billion-dollar corporations got you believing, just by putting a different branded name on it, that everything is different. When in reality, it's all a lie. It's all a game. Isn't that creepy? That's kind of creepy, isn't it? Things are being made in the same plant. I'm going to tell you something else. One of the world's largest eyewear and eye care division, and I should know this, I used to work for. They own everything. They own Lens Crafters, Pearl Vision. They own Target Optical. They own them all. And you think that they're different, and they're not. They're not. And I taught the eye care professionals before they hit the floor. Before they hit the floor, before they start cutting prescriptions, I was the one that trained them. Yep. That's my job. Make sure that you were able to do your job so people could see the first time. And I still stand on that. Because prescription eyewear is expensive and eye care is expensive. Okay. Well, anyway, so I'm saying all of that to say, let's end with this today. You can protest in your own way. You don't have to follow the crowd. Here's what I am doing. I am shopping local as much as possible. That is my rule. Shop local, shop local, shop local. Find a local grocer, find a local clothing store, shoe store, whatever. Give that money to the people that are in your community. that live in your community, that worship in your community, that play in your community. Get a list of the businesses from your local chamber of commerce and support the local businesses. They got to eat too. It's just the truth. All right, folks, here's something else I want to share with you. I'm going to start sharing with you all my cute little violin. I'm going to start playing it for the people that said that this is not what I voted for. Yes, it is. We're going to start sharing this on a regular, okay? This is how much I care. Cry me a river. Cry me a river. That's how much I'm going to care. Because you voted for this. You voted for this. This is what you wanted. Here we are. Now all of us got the FAFO with you. Oh my God, today. All right. 3 things that I always like to say before we leave each live. 1, love your life. It is the only one that you have. 2, live your life to the fullest and embrace everything that is your life, because one day you're not going to be here. You might as well enjoy everything that is your life and make the best of it. And lastly, they thought the food prices. See, I'm trying to do my facts. They thought the food prices are going to go down. Okay. And lastly, breathe through every single moment. Get out there and do something positive with the rest of your day. Don't forget to complete your 6 list. I am down to my last 1, 2, 3. I've done 4 things on my 8 list. This is 8 for today, but I'll get about 3 done when I leave shortly. All right. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Go ahead and learn this song. It's called Brownstone Worldwide. You have joined us, and we're going to get that site back up and running for you today. She's just a little stuck. We're working on it behind the scenes. All right. We're going to get that database connected. We're going to be good to go. All right. We'll see you all tomorrow on another edition of Tips, Topics, and Talk and the Day Shift. We'll see you around.
Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and breakfast with Fernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast, Brownstone, the light is contagious. But you need go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution, exciting. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we want to create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and breakfast with Werner. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency. And this as a man right now, and things aren't created, but see true.